everyone. This is Elizabeth with Scott Leroy Marketing, and welcome to Lead Generate with Command Print Marketing 101. Today is November 22nd, so if you are viewing the recording and notice some features are different, Command may have been updated. To start today, we're going to be inside Mozilla Firefox. I find that Mozilla Firefox works best with the Designs applet, which we'll be in today, and specifically a private window. So to find that in Firefox, very similar to Google Chrome, just click the menu in the top right corner and click New Private Window. Next, we are at Command, which is agent.kw.com. You don't have to type in any of the other mumbo jumbo, just simply agent.kw.com. Next, we'll enter in our username. It's generally something like first initial, last name, maybe a number. Capitalization is not important. It's not required here. Then you'll enter in your password. Of course, capitalization is required here. Then click sign in. So once it's all loaded, we're going to first venture to our marketing profile to make sure that's 100% complete, so that all of the fields there can syndicate over to your design. So first, you'll click your name in the top right corner to drop down that menu and click Settings. And loading. There we go. And once that's loaded, you can go over to the left-hand side, click Connect Settings to drop down that menu and select Marketing Profile. So here is your marketing profile. You want to make sure all of the fields are filled in correctly and up to date as well. We do suggest your brokerage name if you're not on a team, the realtor logo if you're not on a team. If you haven't been in here in a while, you now have a field for military affiliation. And once you choose any affiliation, you'll see a second drop down to choose details. Make sure your bio is always up to date, your phone numbers, emails. Your Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, etc. If you do make any changes or updates, that save button is down at the very bottom of the page. Don't forget to click to save. And then you'll get an embedded pop-up here saying if it was successful, that you can then close. So next, we're going to head straight to Designs. You can always click the red square with the white KW to expand the name of the applets. Designs is going to be the third one from the bottom, the square with the paintbrush. So again, once you're done with your marketing profile, let's head to Designs. Now, your screen may look different than mine. If you're not seeing all of these tiles with different designs, don't worry. These are your own personal designs. So if you haven't created any yet, you won't see any here just yet. But what we'll want to do first is simply click Create Design in the top right corner, the big blue button. And the first thing we're going to create is a print piece. So click Print to highlight that in blue and click Continue. How's my sound and video? Is it choppy? I just got my internet is unstable alert. So if you're seeing anything, let me know. Oh, good. All right, so once that's loaded, you'll be defaulted to a new section here. It won't be the KW app anymore. It'll be K-score in the general category, but not to worry. We're actually going to head to assets first. So it's the tab along the top, the third tab. So just click to open. And you'll see you're defaulted to colors and fonts. A lot of the times you won't have anything to upload here, but if your team or group does have specific color palettes or fonts created for them, you can upload those here on the right-hand side. But let's flip down to the images category. This is where you want to put your headshot if you haven't already. You can do so by simply clicking Upload in the right corner, top right corner. So images is a good one to visit and upload. And the next category, text, is also a good one to visit. So you'll see different fields here. And if you don't see any fields, don't worry, you can click New Field at the top right. And you can add things like first name, last name, office address, email, phone, social media, about me, slogan, etc. Now, these are pieces that you would commonly use on different designs. So whether that's email, print, or social designs, if you're finding that you're having to add your name frequently or phone number or email or website, you want to add these text assets in so that you can auto populate them to your designs quickly. The ones I use most frequently are just that my name, email, phone, website. I don't really even use my social media links just because they are super long and don't even really need office address, but I do have it in here just in case. So now that you've got your assets all built up, you will also see there's logos. So if you are on a team, you can also add your office logos. I have all sorts of colors here. Elements, it's kind of like clip art. So different stickers, object shapes, icons that you frequently use. Could also be the Facebook logo, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, any videos or files as well. So now let's head back over to templates, which is the first tab at the very top left, and get started choosing our piece. So first and foremost, there are going to be several options here. You want to choose one that works best for you and your situation in generating leads. For instance, if you are going door knocking, do you want to hand out flyers? Do you want to hand out door hangers? Totally up to you. So no matter if you're making just a simple test piece with me, or even viewing the recording later for a real piece, or even creating a different type of piece than me. For instance, if I'm doing a coming soon and you're making a for sale, all of the functionalities are going to be the same. So you would just make them work best for you. You don't necessarily have to do exactly what I'm doing, but I'm just going to be showing the basic overall functionality of editing print designs and how you can tweak them to make them work best for you. So you'll see the different categories on the left-hand side. Again, you're defaulted to case score, but you can collapse that one if you don't need it. You can drop them down by clicking the header. So you'll see different ones like coming soon, for sale, just listed, just sold, local expert, neighborhood snaps, open house, price update. Those are all good for door knocking, of course, at different times. If you don't have any listings or haven't had any listings in the past, you can use the Keller Mortgage or neighborhood snaps. There's also a whole category for lead generation. So if you have an event to invite people to, like any sort of buyer seminars, first-time home buyer seminars, what's your home value? Information about your KW app is now under this category as well. And then you have more categories, not necessarily great for door knocking, but you'll also see business cards, letterhead, just drop down these headers here to see what all Designs has to offer. I'm just going to collapse all of these again. There we go. Now, once you choose your category along this left-hand side, today I'm going to use the for sale. You'll see all of the pieces, all of the templates start populating, and you can always scroll to see more. You'll then notice some buttons along the top. Now, these are the different formats of designs. So today I'm just going to make a flyer as if you were to print these out and pass them out while door knocking. But you'll also see different categories have different formats. So if you're in another category, you may see different formats along the top here. First question, how do we get to this area? You'll want to log into Command, which is agent.kw.com. Click Designs on the left-hand applet menu. Then click Create Design, and we're in Print. So like I said, today we're going to be doing a flyer. So I'm going to click to narrow down just the flyer templates. Unfortunately, no, you aren't going to be able to make logos with this. This is mainly marketing pieces. We recommend Fiverr, Fiverr, to create logos. Yeah, and if you aren't seeing too many designs, you may have to change your category because each category is going to have a different amount of designs within. So even though I'm just doing a flyer today, other print options that may not necessarily have to do with marketing are door hangers, bifolds, both vertically and horizontally, trifolds. There's the listing and buyer presentations that you'll notice in the categories as well. And of course, excuse me, the personally branded e-zine or magazine. So lots and lots of different categories, lots and lots of different formats. For today, I'm going to choose, let's do this flyer, the 12 for sale flyer. So once you choose your design, you're going to hover over it to kind of gray it out, and you'll see the red use button pop up, and simply click. And we'll wait for that to open within the We Brand editor here. Again, this is why we're using Mozilla Firefox. We find that this We Brand editor works best within Firefox. And first things first, you'll notice a few things. You'll notice this bluish, purplish banner at the top, letting you know that your design is available for print order if you so choose. Of course, it's not required. For more information on that, you would click the Order Print button at the very top. The website we suggest for making logos is Fiverr, Fiverr, I believe. The second thing you'll notice is the speech bubble, the red speech bubble at the very bottom right corner. That's going to show you that the Pages menu has moved to the right side of the editor. And then you can click here where it's pointing. The button in the very, very far right bottom corner is how you can open and see the different pages that you have. So to close that bubble, just click skip. This is a one-page flyer, so we won't need to go to pages. But if you are working with something like the presentations or magazines, you can navigate to different pages here. So then I'm going to zoom in so that not only you can see what I'm doing, but I can see what I'm doing. And we're just going to work the flyer from top to bottom. So first thing is bedroom. I'm going to head over to the KWLS tab or button icon, house icon on the left-hand side, and search for my listing. Now, I always get this question, so I'll go ahead and let you know that if you do not have a listing and would like to create flyers for a listing, you will have to get permission from not only the listing agent, but also your broker to make sure that your marketing for another agent and another listing is available in your area. But once you enter in this address, press enter on your keyboard to start searching. And you'll see listings start to populate here. And I'm just going to scroll to find this listing. Let's narrow this down some. Nope, not yet. So let me spell out a couple of these words here. There we go. Once you find your listing, click select. And you'll see you are now selected with photos. And these will populate in just a minute. There we go. I just typed in the property address. You can also search by MLS ID, KWLS ID, listing agent, or even co-listing agent as well. There we go. So since I'm looking for how many bedrooms, I'm going to flip over to the listing details tab. And you'll see all of the different fields that are coming over from the MLS. And I'll just mentally note that there are 4 bedrooms. Now, if this is your listing, you may already know that information. So what you can do is come over to the design, click to select the field that you want to edit, and double click to start editing. So I'm going to do the same for bathrooms. It's a 3.5. So I'm going to double click to select and edit. There we go. And I think I moved this a little bit, so I'm just going to use my down arrows to move that back down. There we go. I think that looks rather even. Next is square footage. So I'm going to find my square footage here. There we go. 1768. Double click in there to edit. And type. And then I always like to click out in the gray space to deselect so that I can see how it's looking. So moving on down, next is the photo. I'm going to click to select. And then I'm going to come back over to the Photos tab and select a photo to use. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can add a photo to your flyer here. The first is simply clicking Replace Image once you hover over the photo. So that will pop it in just nicely, even in the exact shape. But there is a glitch right now where once it loads, you'll see the load bar at the top that has since gone away. It pops to the top left. Kind of weird. But what you can do to solve that is simply click the picture to select it. Go up to the top here and click Reposition. And then you'll see your picture and where it is outside of the box. So then I'm just going to drag it back in the center and it'll snap to the right size again. Once you've dragged it back, click Done, and it'll stay there. I'll show you the other options of adding pictures when we're down here at the bottom, but the next field is the price. So I'm going to go back to listing details to look that up. Coincidentally, it's the same, so I'm going to leave it. Next is the address. I'm going to click to select. Now, one way to edit these fields is to type them in like I did at the very top. Another way to update these fields is to simply click this replace to the right of the field that you want to add. By doing so, it puts the information right inside the flyer, all nice and neat. Now, one thing with the address is it doesn't include the state. So if you would like it to include this state, you can simply click inside of that field and manually type it in. And since I've edited this text now, I'm going to click and hold and let the grid lines snap me into place. So I want it centered on the page. Next, I'm going to do the description. So I'm going to click to select. And the property description is going to be at the very bottom of the listing details. And I'm just going to click replace again. And let's resize this a bit so that as much as possible fits in here. If not, I can also decrease the size, delete some of the information. Let's see how much there is though. Not too much, but let's edit here. You can also list out your property description in bulleted points, just as the template had. And let's move the DBA logo on this one. So I'll address that later. Okay. Now that your description's good to go, we can move over to the other pictures. Yes, you should be able to change the space between the lines of typing by using this spacing button here. So it was at 2. Let's go to there. Yep, exactly. You can alter any of the text here using these formatting tools up at the top. Font, size, color, all sorts of different ways. So these pictures, let's go back over to KWLS and photos and choose a photo here. I'm going to choose this one. So the first picture, you clicked replace. The second way to add pictures in is simply by clicking, dragging, and releasing. And you'll see the red load bar at the top there again. And it looks like that is being ornery as well. So let's try the simple replace again. No, doesn't look like that's wanting to work. So let's try it this way. There we go. Clicking and dragging. I'll make this a hair smaller. There we go. Now the next way to do it is to upload. So I'm going to click to select and then head over to images and then the add tab. So if you have your MLS photos stored on your computer, you can simply click to upload an image by clicking this box here and uploading from your computer to then add to this spot here. I actually don't have any of these on my computer, so I am going to go back to KWLS, photos, and choose another. And there you have it. So to round the corners, that's actually a shape. It's going to be a shape that's the picture's overlaid on top of. Let me try and get these placeholders removed. There we go. And I think I wanted this picture, so let's add that in. And make this smaller here. And pop that in there. Again, you can also use the grid lines to line all of the elements up properly. And then, of course, even your arrow keys on your keyboard as well. So what you would do if you wanted the rounded corners still would be to add a shape. Of course, I don't have anything selected. I just clicked out in the gray space, shape, and then use this rounded square. And I'm just going to click. You can also drag. And then if this is working, let's see, should be able to. Well, now it's taken this picture. Should be able to use that rounded square in order to pop that picture inside of, which is basically what the template has at first. So you just want to choose that. Just like the template would to get that rounded edges. So next, let me zoom in again. And scroll down. Last but not least is the contact me for details section. So of course you can change this text if you wish. I'm just going to simply leave it there. Once you click your headshot though, oh, maybe it's not going to take me over to it. So next to update is my headshot. So I'm going to click to select, then go to images and my assets. And I'm going to replace, keeping that same shape there. Let me reposition this a little bit. Drag it back down here. There we go, and click done. once you're done. And then here's where all of this text in your assets works best for you. So next is your name. You'll head to the text section, again, under assets. And I'm going to replace my name. Now, on this specific template, it has the phone and email combined. So there's two ways you can do this as well, just like the text in the main part of the design. You can either simply replace. Now, again, that's going to replace all of the text with that simple asset here. But what I like to do is go ahead and do that for the first element. And then for the second element, just simply click add. And that'll add that in where you can then move it back. Make it smaller here. Move it around. Oh, don't want to remove that. Nope, still moving that. Let's do my keyboard here. And then again, you can always change the formatting of the text at the very top, such as making this the same color here. There we go. I want it white. Like so. I'm going to replace app with my website instead. And then last but not least, the DBA name. Now this is what automatically pulls up the logos section over on the left. And this is one reason why I have all of the logos in all the different colors, is because if the different templates are on a different background, then you can use the appropriate color of logo. So I'm going to move this down a little bit. Although now that my description is smaller, I can move that logo back over, but there we go. Like so. So once you're happy with the flyer, of course, this was just a really quick 101 showing you how to use the system. You can file save. You will also see that autosave is selected, but I always like to be careful and save, and also recommend saving frequently. Don't forget to rename your design as well. You can always use some sort of naming convention. County Road, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And again, I'm going to just save real quick. Of course, this is at the point where you would then order print if you so choose. You can also download this and print yourself. I'll show you that in just a moment. But if you did want to order the prints through command, you would just go through these 3 steps and order prints to be delivered to you. If you didn't want to do order prints, you can simply download, select file type. The default is PDF for printing, so you can just leave it at that and download. Once downloaded, you can either print it yourself at home, at your office, or even a store like Staples or Office Depot or Office Max, whatever they're going by these days. And they should be able to print it as well. So the second option for print marketing is postcards. So I'm going to click done to exit this design. And while that's loading, answer this other question. Yeah, if you don't have any logos uploaded in your assets, first would be to find them. You can find your office logos at kwconnect.com under the marketing tab. And let me pull up that link for you as well. I like going to mykw.com first to head over to KW Connect. Oh, and of course it's going to give me this error because I haven't logged in 45 minutes. There we go. So if you go to MyKW, simply click marketing. Then logos and branding, this first tile here. And about a third of the way down the page, you'll see a search option. That's where you're going to enter in your market center name or number. And if you don't have either of those, you can always check My KW and it'll be at the very top. So search for your market center. You'll get the whole suite of market center, or also known as DBA logos, to upload into assets. Oh, and I wanted to catch that link. Sorry about that. So let me put that in the chat, and that's where you can go. So for postcards, again, going to create design and print and continue. You'll see that there's actually a couple of different options for postcards within designs. Again, using all of those same steps to edit them, but I do want to point out the different types here, the different formats. So in some different categories, you'll see standard. And if you forget, you can simply hover over. Standard is the 6x4 size. Standard 6x4. And in other categories, you'll see, let me try and find one real quick. Large postcards. Large are going to be, no, not there either. Large are going to be 6x9. So 6x4 standard, 6x9 large. And then the third size you may see is jumbo. No. Standard. Standard. Well, you'll see the different types along the top. So whatever category you're working in is what you'll have available in the different formats. So for a postcard, I generally suggest using the templates over in Campaigns, which is where we're headed next. Campaigns is the little megaphone icon. Again, you can expand the name of the applets by clicking the red square. You'll be able to find the class recording on our website, slmtraining.com, and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scott Leroy Marketing. So next step to create this postcard template is simply to click Create Campaign. And in the little embedded pop-up, we're going to select Direct Mail. And as always, enter a campaign name. I'm going to use the same naming convention and name it the address. County Road, 10,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then this is going to be an advertised listing, but of course you can choose any goal here and click Create Campaign. You'll see KWLS 2.0 slide out from the right here. This is where I'm going to choose my listing again. And click search. Now, I will point out that if you're seeing no records found, you may want to change the status and the show. And once you find the listing, click select. And then if you haven't been in the direct mail, aka postcards campaigns before, you may, or haven't been in it recently, I should say, you may see that it has changed up a little bit. You'll see the overview section. If you need to change the name or goal, you can change the listing in the second section. And the third section, content, you can either select a template from here or upload a design. So if you do make any postcards in the designs applet, you would then choose upload design. But I generally recommend using one of the templates within campaigns. And here is also where you'll see the different sizes. Compact is the standard 4x6. Default is like the large 6x9. And the large, either modern or contemporary, there's two designs here, are like the jumbo 6x11. So you can update all of these fields here as you see fit. You also want to pay attention to the character count. Not quite yet. There we go. You can choose a photo. I'm actually going to choose a little bit more of the front of the house this time. Actually, that one looks a little stretched. Let's use that one again. And then your information here. Saving each section as you go along. And just completing all of these fields. There we go. Confirming the address that command wants to give you. Here's where you can also edit the targeting if you wanted to either do local, which is around the listing, or to your database. And then last but not least, your budget, where you can change the quantity, or depending on your template that you use and the size, you'll have different options. So for this specific template, I only have one option, but other templates may have others. So you can either use the little up and down arrows here or type it in if that's easier. So you go through each of these sections here, making sure all of the fields are complete. You do want to pay attention to the preview on this side, checking out both the front and the back. That's looking good so far, although this is not the official preview just yet. And then last on this page, you do have the ability to add a QR code, QR quick response. Now this is auto-generated by the system. So this is not something that you'll be able to create and add yourself, but if you do want one added, you would simply toggle this on. Once scanned by the recipient, they will be taken to a page where their contact information can be captured and tracked back to this campaign. So the only option available at this time is to connect it to a landing page. And that will become ungrayed out once you toggle on that tracking. So you do already have to have this landing page already created. Of course, you will also see your website pages as well. So your home page or even your contact us page, your what's my home worth page, whatever pages you have on your website, on your command website. But I do already have this landing page created, so I can click to select so that I know that anyone who scans this QR code is being directed to this landing page. And if they enter their contact information, they'll be directed there. So next step, you would just click configure targeting to go to step 2. Now, once you do that, you won't be able to come back and edit any of this information. So be sure that all of this is correct. You can also click save draft, come back in an hour or in a day with fresh eyes, make sure all of this info is correct. But once you're sure, click yes. Oh, yeah, no worries. So this campaign is for postcards, another version of print marketing. I just like to suggest using the templates within the campaigns direct mail platform because they're a lot easier, way fewer clicks. And this is what that configure targeting page looks like. You'll see the number of homes to target on the left where you can then change. You can narrow down by property type, bedrooms, and each time the map updates to show you how far that's reaching. You can even narrow it down by year built. You'll see your postage class here. And then anytime you see a little eye in a circle, it's a little tooltip. So I always suggest hovering over these to see what information they're going to give you. But we do also recommend always checking this box, sending a copy to the company address so that you see how they turn out. No, the location that's selected here is the property address that I'm advertising. So back in step 1, under that targeting section, it auto-populated the property address because I pulled the property address in from KWLS 2.0. So it's not my current location, it's the property address. So once you're satisfied with this information, And I can zoom out to see exactly where all of these little dots are and how far it does reach. You would then click next. And here is where the official previews will be. So you want to make sure that both look good here. You can also view a larger preview here in the center of the page. You'll see a brief order summary here, a little bit about processing, delivery, and then payment information at the very end. Once you have those fields entered, that make a payment option will be able to be clicked, and that would finish you up. So ordering these postcards, creating them and ordering them through command, they will then be sent by command, and Real Mailers is who they use. So you won't get to receive them and mail them off yourself. Command will do that on your behalf. If you are wanting to mail them out yourself, I would again suggest using this designs platform or applet and print them off yourself, either at home, at your office, at Staples, Office Depot, or even sending them to a printer for them to be delivered to you. Because the campaigns will take care of that all for you. So let me drop our YouTube channel and our website. Website's where you can find our contact information at the very bottom. But that is it for class today. If I didn't get to your question, or of course, if you think of one later, feel free to contact us and we'll be happy to help. Of course, also, if you ran into any specific issues, feel free to reach out with your issue and login, and we'll be able to check that out as well. As always, thank you for joining and hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful week, and happy Thanksgiving.